Oh, here we go.
All right, welcome back to Rogers Television's live coverage of the 196th running of the Royal St. John's Regatta. I'm joined by Amanda Hancock, a 5-time course champion, and Andrew Wadden. He is a rower, a lawyer with Wadden Pettigrew Hogan, and is on the Regatta committee. And I, of course, have no such regatta credentials.
But you're here.
I'm here, and I'm doing all right. I'm having a good time, and we're having a great race. It's definitely a racer's day. The weather's great, and the times have been great. So we're into race 13 right now. This is the Atlantic Lottery female race. In stake 1 in the Catherine M is the crew Hickmans. Again, Danny Hart is back in the Cox for this crew. The stroke is Courtney Sakuda, Amanda Reed, Terry Murphy, Carolyn Power, Kristen Murphy, and Melissa Reed. Stake 2 is vacant. Stake 3 is in the shell Stroke of Power, and the crew is Newfoundland Canvas. Cox is Dexter Decker, stroke Catherine Chafe, Kim Goodyear, April Stead, Kit Sora, Krista Kavanagh, Donnelyn McMullen, and the spare is Laura Belbin Vokey. Stake 4 is vacant, so 3 crews in this race. In Stake 5, in the Marine Institute shell, is the crew Newfoundland and Labrador Ladies Row UK. They are coxed by Robert Greeley, stroke Vianne Hannon, Susan Barrett, Renee March, Victoria Mitchell, Cindy Lou Edwards, Kim Connors, and their spare, Denise McDonald. All right, I'll throw it over to my esteemed colleagues. Thoughts?
Well, again, to emphasize the excellent conditions of the pond here today. I mean, it's not too hot, the wind is cool, and we've got another good race coming up. It's 3 boats only, but again, we've got the, as we saw with the Williams, or former Williams sisters now, we had Katie and Jane in that boat that former Premier Williams just talked about. They're both sisters and played soccer with Katie, and I can echo the
competitive nature
comments that Katie is quite competitive, and I have, I'm not surprised that they had the slowest time going into that race and came out on top. But there's lots to say about this race. We have 2 pairs of sisters on stake 1 in Hickman's, Amanda Reed and Melissa Reed, and we have the Murphy sisters there in that boat, and their dad, Kristen, and Terry Murphy's father is the manager of Hickman's, so we can see that family connection.
And I think we're off clean. Yes, we are off clean by the looks of it. Yep, we've had clean. 2 false starts. Normally you never have to worry about that, but with 2 false starts, I think that's our first priority now, is to see if the race is a good start.
4 rookies in our boat on stake 1, Peter, and 1 rower who's only been out of the year. So, but they're on stake 1, so they've got the best time in this race. But to Amanda's earlier point, again, we're looking at a race where we get times that are almost identical.
And what's really exciting is the NL Ladies Row UK on stake 5. They are leaving on Friday to go to Wales and participate in with the Mumbles Amateur Rowing Club in a regatta over there. So best of luck to them, and that kind of adds a different aspect to their training this summer. And I've been following their Facebook page, and I can see that their goal here today is to come away with a time of 6:23. So that's 30 seconds away from their time trials. So it's going to be interesting to get those official results.
Amanda, in your experience with the sort of the best and the elite rowers, men and women, Andrew too, to both of you, I'll put this question: what percentage are strictly regatta rowers, and what percentage have some mainland rowing, slide seat rowing, Canada Games, or whatever, varsity rowing? What is the balance between the strictly regatta rowers and all kinds of rowers?
I think the majority of participants in the Royal St. John's Regatta, a lot of them don't have slide seat experience. But, for example, in this race, we can see Courtney Sakuda there on stake 1 in Hickman's. She has some slide seat experience. But it changes, like it clumps in crews. So where you have one person with slide seat, they tend to come back from their slide seat experience and transfer it over into fixed seat crews. So, maybe not all the slide seat or the fixed seat crews have slide seat rowers in them, but the crews that do have 1, 2, or the coach or the coxswain is from the slide seat side of things. I don't know, Andrew, what's your take on that? Certainly it's becoming more common to have slide seat experience in your crew.
Yes, I think the slide seaters enjoy coming over and engaging in the fixed seat regatta. A lot of times you'll see more of the slide seaters in the morning.
Yep.
not to compliment Amanda too much, but I think she was part of that world for some time too, and she would
Right.
tell you that the slide seaters tend to do very well in the fixed seat boats, just because their mechanics are so good, and they come from boats that are, frankly, a little more difficult to negotiate.
Right.
You don't see people tip a regatta boat. People tip slide seat boats.
Right.
So they're tougher, and they
Yeah.
get in, and they're just very good at it. And they train, they're training at different times of the year, oftentimes too. So,
And it's, a slide seat is different. You don't wear your shoes in a slide seat boat. You can be rowing in a single by yourself, or in a double or a pair, or you can be rowing in an 8 or a 4 or a quad. It's all kinds of different rowing styles, so you have to become adaptable, and you get quite comfortable in a boat. But what the St. John's Regatta offers that the provincial slide seat doesn't offer is competition. So
Right.
while you can learn the technical aspect of the sport over on that side of the boathouse in slide seat, there's no provincial competition here.
Yeah,
You have
nothing to
go-
compare to this, for
no,
sure. Yeah.
I mean, I say all the time, this is where I learned how to race, is in the St. John's Regatta, and you can just take your technical skills from slide seat and add it to the competitive side of things you learn here, certainly as I did as a juvenile intermediate, and this is where you learn how to race.
Back to the race at hand, in stake 1, I think it was Hickman's pretty clearly, guys. They were the first ones in and out of the turn.
Most
yeah.
definitely.
Yep.
Peter, you've heard the phrase, I suspect, this morning and many times before. The races are often won and lost on the turn,
For
and
sure.
stake 5 took a really wide turn there.
Yes, I actually know. I was going to mention that, but it is interesting for the viewers as well. You can see. To me, it's a good example of seeing the difference between the elite clubs, the elite crews, and maybe the more recreational ones. Is the tightness around that buoy. There's no doubt there was an example where they overshot that by, it looked like almost like a couple of boat lengths almost, and that has to just eat your time because you're almost coming to a stop. Got to get your speed back up again. I mean, you can add, 10, 20 seconds to a time.
Oh, easily.
If you
So easy to add
yeah.
20 seconds on. And again, they're won and lost on the turn, and the turn, for the most part, belongs to the cocks.
Yep.
And anybody can have a bad day, even some of the best coxes out there. Rich Bailey, who we saw earlier, who usually makes a tight turn, has had some very wild ones. Sometimes you just misjudge it.
Right.
And part of that is that it's race day and it's the adrenaline, and you're focusing sometimes on other boats.
It's, Amanda, that's a unique aspect to regatta rowing. What's your take on it? I could see that you could, if you've done other types of rowing, the slide seat, and again, varsity on the mainland, whatever, that maybe that could be a source of frustration, that the turn is this crazy wild card that's into the rowing, has almost nothing to do with your training in some respects.
Source of frustration, but also a source of uniqueness. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a saying that the St. John's Regatta is founded on tradition, and I don't know of many other races. Certainly, I've never participated in one where you have to do a turn to get back to the finish line.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it unique and makes it special, and you practice it, and that's why this St. John's Regatta is so special, because you have to make that turn on the time when it counts.
Yeah.
It's great, and York Construction, they executed their turn well, and they're just rowing to, not York, Hickman's.
Yeah.
They're rowing to a cool first here in their blue.
Yeah, they
Cool
look.
blue.
I'll do a visual. The
Yeah.
TV is excellent on certain angles, and then on sort of midpoint angles, it's a little deceptive. So you kind of got to do a visual, and it's still looking like Hickman's is.
And we've
is
talked a bit
clearly in the
about
lead.
1 and 5. Stake 1 is Hickman's, and 5 is then Ladies Row UK. Stake 3, Newfoundland Canvas, their 2013 time was 7:32. So already we can see today that they're going to be well under where they were last year this time. So, win or lose, they have an improvement that they can take home.
Andrew, do you get a lot of one and done, sort of like a lot of people want to do one triathlon or one Tele 10 and that's it, they're done with that? Do you get a fair bit of that down at the regatta?
I've not. Most of the people I've ever rowed with are like, I was in the boat this morning with people who've been down here 30 years. I don't know many people who've tried it and not come back, to be honest. Now, sure, those are out there.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, people go down and they enjoy it. I can tell you in that boat right there, that Hickman's boat, where a number of them are new, they just, they're winning their race.
Yep.
They want to come back next year.
Right.
Yep.
And that's what we as people who love the rowing community and want to see the sport survive, love to see.
Absolutely.
And
Sorry.
I was just going to say that Hickman's, they took gold in Placentia and Harbour Grace. So while, of course, they only give out the Triple Crown for the championship cruise, this is sort of a mini Triple Crown.
Triple Crown.
I
for
like
Hickman's.
that.
Congratulations
Absolutely.
to them.
Mini Triple Crown.
Yeah.
I'll go to Burger King.
That's awesome. It's nowhere near the $1,000 that the championship crews get, but
So it is
still
$1,000. I asked that this morning jokingly. I said any $10 million endorsement deals as a result of winning the championship.
Well, there should be.
But the Hickmans they're the winner. But they don't get. What do the recreational crews get? They just get a medal and they don't get any money as such.
3 different medals. One for Placentia, one for Harvard Grace, and one for St. John's.
And what do the top crews get? Like the winner, the men's champions, the women's champions. What do they get?
I personally have never won the Triple Crown, but I believe based on years past, it's the hardware that goes with each regatta, the medals, individual medals, and the trophies for each championship, fastest time of day. And then in the fall of the year, they're presented with a Triple Crown trophy and also a nice big check.
Yeah.
So I think the amount of that might vary, but it's about $1,000.
Per person?
Per crew.
Per crew.
Yeah. So it's still,
Just lunch money. No,
yes.
I'm just kidding.
Look at Danny Hart. Must have changed shirts about 5 or 6 times already today.
I'm losing count of how many times Danny Hart has seen our crews today. And, that's worth pointing out because people like him, because there's often a shortage of coxswains.
He steps up, doesn't he?
He steps up. He loves the sport. It's largely because of him, rather, a lot of these crews that are out here today are out there.
Yeah.
Without people like him who are willing to do that and put that much time in over the summer months, which I can't even fathom how much time he's put in with all these crews over the summer months.
They're on once or twice a day, five times a week. I mean, and then he times that by 2 or 3 clubs or crews. I mean, and they in fact, we were talking this morning about how you would have to manage it. You actually probably physically couldn't do that for 3 crews to be on the pond with them every single time.
No.
So they have with the coach, or they had to find their way to do it. But there's no doubt if they didn't do it, you wouldn't have the regatta to the extent that we do with our 80 plus crews.
For sure. And we're not looking at everybody, certainly all 7 people in each boat don't work these 9 to 5 jobs where you can come down at 7 and again at 6 in the evening and that's it.
Yeah.
We have shift work, we have offshore workers, we have, all sorts of diversity in people's backgrounds and family lives at home, and they just make it work, and it's awesome. We have a crew coming up here next to Travel Bug and Posey Row. They're all shift workers. And I just was talking to some of them about how they have to row every morning at 6:30 to make it work.
All right, we're going to take a short break right now. Race 14 is on deck. You are watching Rogers Television's live ongoing coverage of the 196 Royal St. John's Regatta. Please stick around and don't forget to enter the chance to win the gas barbecue. We will be right back. It is a little. Welcome back to our coverage of Rogers TV. We're going through some of the results from this afternoon's races. We've had 3 races so far. Actually, Amanda and I were just talking about if we had time to. Race 11 was the start of the afternoon, so let's go with the winner and their time.
Sure. The winning crew for Race 11, female service race, was Abilities, coxed by Jen Somerton with a time of 6:11.76. The other race that we saw there was race number 12, the CAA Female Club at 2:20. Winner of that crew was York Construction with the time of 6:17.31, coxed by Danny Hart.
These are the official times, so that's great. They send up the official winners, so no surprises there. All right, Gina Brown is live with the most recent race winner.
Carolyn Power is here representing Hickman's. And you guys, you did pretty good.
Thank you very much.
Triple Crown winners, as I
Triple
understand.
Crown winners, yeah. We're first team together. We were pretty much all rookie rowers, and we managed to pull off a Triple Crown. So we're more than happy, that's for sure.
How was it you were able to bring your successes from the other regatta and bring them into here?
Well, I give that up to 100% our cox and our coach, because they really have been the driving force behind us, given their expertise in the boat and out of the boat. And, we've all worked together as a team and really come together. I was so happy with our performances.
Well, if you're Triple Crown winners, I have to get you to say your names because your family and friends are watching. Okay.
Kristen Murphy,
Terry Murphy,
Amanda Reed,
Melissa Reed,
Courtney Sakuda.
Joe Dowden.
There you go.
And our cox is over there. He also brought the York team to their gold medal. So
I'm sure there's a lot of people you'd like to thank. You want to say a couple of thank yous?
Well, to our sponsor, Hickman Chevrolet Cadillac. They're our big sponsors this year. So without them, obviously, we wouldn't be.